What's up, everyone, and welcome to Save the Game Boy, your monthly Nintendo podcast presented by Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin, and today I am joined by two people very excited after that Tears of the Kingdom gameplay trailer. First up, we have from the Anime Cast, Kyle. How you doing?
I'm gonna fuse Ganon's butt to his face.
Wow, okay.
Hope he's
Well,
ready.
we're also joined by the host of No Limits, a PlayStation podcast. Taylor, how are you doing?
Hi, Kevin. I'm your biggest fan.
Did you finish Breath of the Wild yet?
No, I have one Divine Beast, one Tower, and Ganon left.
Hey, Kevin, ask me that question.
Kyle, did you finish Breath of the Wild yet?
Yeah, I 100%ed it.
Ooh, nice. Well, for those unaware, you can catch this podcast on YouTube once a month, random times. We don't have a set date for it, but it is also on your favorite podcast service of choice. So while you're over there, make sure to drop us a rating, drop us a review, and if you want to support us further, get early access to our content and exclusive post shows, head over to patreon.com/save the game media. Choose the tier that's right for you, just like our current Patreon supporters. So thank you to Bucky Blue, Hopple, Alpaca Tom, Amon, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Nikolai at Night, Cypher, Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, The Snack Network, David Hotright, Dave Harp, and the Xbox Expansion Pass. Thank you all for your support. We appreciate each and every one of you. And guys, we don't convene for this podcast much, but we chose a pretty good day to do it. Tears of the Kingdom 10-minute gameplay trailer got dropped this morning. I
Because
want
I chose the date. You're
you
welcome.
did. You did. He knew. He knew. Insider
I knew.
confirmed. Uh, I wanna go around and see how are we feeling after the gameplay trailer, and then we can break down some stuff you guys are excited for. Because I haven't played Breath of the Wild, but I do have thoughts on the trailer. So Kyle, I'm gonna start with you. Overall thoughts on the Tears of the Kingdom gameplay we saw.
We just can't keep letting Nintendo get away with this. Another Game of the Year award? I don't understand how can this be allowed? It it's so good. It looks so good.
Okay. All right. Taylor, how are you feeling? You literally just watched it before we started recording.
Yeah, because I was working when it came out, and I didn't have it on another monitor. I guess. Whoops. I thought it looked really interesting. The object fusion. I mean, how do I say this? The amount of freedom it seemed like we had with cooking, they just ramped it up to weapons and traversal. So I can only imagine how much more creative people can get with the game now, even if they haven't changed much of the map. I mean, obviously they've added sky dungeons and sky areas, but even if the only thing they changed was just how the fundamental weapons and navigation systems work, I think it's going to add a whole new dimension to the gameplay that, as someone who enjoyed Breath of the Wild, I'm not as, I think it's a really good game, but I don't think I'm a super fan just because I can't, when it comes to really big open world games, it's so hard for me to play them, like to binge them. And I feel like my favorite games I've always just hyper focused on, and I can't do that with Breath of the Wild. I have to take it in spurts. But with that said, it's a ton of new doors for gameplay that I just had no idea. I didn't see coming at all. I didn't think you could just fuse a boulder to a stick and make it a new weapon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as I said, I haven't played Breath of the Wild, so I went into this just looking to see if there was anything exciting, and immediately I was like, okay, the game seems to be running pretty well from what I saw on the Switch. I know a lot of people were concerned we were going to get a Pokemon Scarlet Violet situation, which listen, they get to pick the footage, so we're not ruling that out yet, but it looked pretty good from what I saw. Especially during the sequences when they were transitioning from the sky to the ground. I was like, wow, this actually like you're not seeing a ton of pop in. You have a big area of view, and then I think the mechanics they're introducing here seem really interesting. I thought them fusing stuff was sweet. So why don't we start there? Like I think that was the first power they showed off in the trailer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
No,
seems
no, it wasn't
no.
actually. The first power that they showed off
Oh,
was
recall.
recall because
Recall,
he
Oh yeah, I
yes.
didn't even
got
mention
on.
Recall. Recall looks sick. What a
Yeah,
great
we're
way
gonna talk.
to add puzzles into the game that, yeah.
So what's super interesting is in Breath of the Wild, you can like you can freeze. A lot of people do this to navigate the map like super quick by like jumping like through the air. Like they find like a mine cart or something, and then they freeze it, and they like use the force from like hitting it backwards at like a certain angle, and they hop on top of it, and then when it comes undone, it launches them into the air, and they can like cross the map really fast. And I thought that this was a super cool mechanic because it kind of like reminded me of that where I think they saw the way people were messing around and finding their own ways to navigate faster. And I think that this is one of the first abilities that they showed off that made navigation faster by just being able to recall and ride an object into the sky. Super easy to get up there. Although that's not how I'm going to get up there.
Yeah, no, weird. I thought it was neat. It kind of we've seen Zelda like go into the Link go into the. We've seen Zelda games have time travel. This is sort of like harnessing time travel and applying it to a specific object. And it reminded me of a game I played last year called the Entropy Center, where you had that where an object would move and you could recall it. So I think this opens up a lot of possibilities where like, can you only do it on the environment, or can you do it on stuff that like Link throws? Because that would be really neat to be able to recall certain things that from your arsenal.
Right.
I know they showed it on the environment, but I definitely would assume because you can use most of the abilities in Breath of the Wild on almost anything. I mean, there's exceptions, obviously, but I would assume that you can use recall on more than just like those boulders. I assume there will be a lot that you can recall.
Like I was thinking his bombs specifically. I think it would be really sweet to be able to recall, like when you throw bombs and like say you mess it up, you just recall them back instead of having to go get them. Like, I don't know. I just thought it'd be really cool to have certain things just be able to be recalled that weren't just those big boulders or certain, like, can you recall enemies and like make them go like get away from me and like push them back that way? I don't know.
You can make enemies stop in their tracks with upgraded stasis in Breath of the Wild, so that you have a little bit of that, and then like you have pent up motion, and then when time resumes after stasis, the physics resume. So, I mean, we already have that system in the game where you can pre-game just destroying enemies in a freeze frame. So I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do the reverse here.
Okay. So recall looks pretty cool, and then we got the fusion, right?
Yeah, but before you get to that, just one of my notes that I wrote down, because he uses the recall ability to go into the sky, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know I kind of am going super nerdy here, but in the background off at like 2:30, I think it's in the video. I think it's over Mount Lanaru. You can see one of the 3 mythical dragons, and I think it's Nadra flying in the background.
I did see a dragon. I remember being like, that's a dragon.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell. And I'm just basing this off of that. I think that mountain looked snowy. And if so, that's the one that would be there. It was hard to like really orient to where you were on the map without specific directions or anything. But I noticed that, and I thought that was cool that they didn't like hide that, showing like, you know, this is the same. This is the same world. You'll find a lot of the same stuff here. And then they went to fusion.
So as someone that doesn't know, is that dragon like a enemy that you can fight, or are they?
No, they're more like docile. Well, they will actually, they're not even hostile to you at all. I remember when I first encountered them, it was the coolest thing. When they swing by in Breath of the Wild, a draft of air comes by with them, and you can use your paraglider, and you can get taken away in their direction. But if you try to like land on them, you'll take damage from their elemental effects. But what you try to do is with the bow and arrow, hit scales off the dragon and use it for I use it for shrines. Maybe you can use it probably for crafting that I'm not aware of. I wish you could use it for
fusion in this game.
That would be awesome. Also, I really hope with the skydiving that they showed, if you could in this game, if you're somehow able to mount them this time, that would be really cool. I'm not banking on it, but that would be
That would be
so
so
fun.
cool. That would
Yeah.
be so
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I did notice that, and I thought me being unaware, I thought, oh, maybe you get to like jump on his back and like fight him in the sky because it does seem this game is
Yeah.
very vertical as opposed to horizontal, which I think is very neat. But I thought when they moved into the fusion, we can finally get over there because I know weapon durability is a hotly debated topic. I saw even people today being like, "Ugh, they kept weapon durability." And I was like, okay, well, the fusion seems to be kind of mitigating that because you can fuse, so like you could just make more weapons. Like they took a stick and a rock. I was like, I got a giant hammer now. Like it seems so cool to me. And I saw people memeing it, obviously, where it's like that one. My favorite was the bender where he had like a fish attached to a sword, and it's like me showing up to fight Ganon. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. So what do you think? How you feeling about the fusion, Kyle?
I think it's super cool. I never minded the weapon durability in Breath of the Wild. I always had like a vast surplus of weapons, and then once you got like the ancient weapons and then the Master Sword, like it was basically a non-issue. And then you could get the Hyrulean shield and all that. I think it looks super fun. I am interested if they'll let you fuse stuff to the Master Sword. What happens? Like then would it just split apart? Because it's not that's not really the same as like fusing a twig to a
Hmm.
rock. Like who cares if those break?
Yeah, there's like
But
one Master Sword.
yeah, so I'm curious if there are restrictions on what you can and can't fuse. But I am going to spend so much time just fusing things in ridiculous combinations because I think it'll be super fun.
Hmm. What about you, Taylor?
Thanks. Yeah, like Kyle, I never had a problem with the durability system in Breath of the Wild, and I think actually a hot take amongst many players of the game. I liked the durability system. It forced me to um,
Plan.
forced me to not just plan but also participate in emergent gameplay. When a weapon breaks, making a split second decision about what to switch to, what to do in the moment. So I actually like that. And there's just an abundance of weapons that, other than like the ancient weapons or the Master Sword, like any other weapon you come across, you could easily regain, in my opinion,
Yeah.
within a matter of minutes, certainly no more than an hour of game time. I am victim to like hoarding guardian weapons, which I don't use, and then I artificially restrict myself on weapon slots. But that's a me problem. Uh, yeah, I think with the fusion system, there's going to be some really cool stuff, and also something I wonder is if enemies. I mean, I know enemies aren't Link, but if there's some NPC that could also take advantage, like an enemy NPC that could also take advantage of the system, and you have like fusion weapon battle.
Oh, they showed that.
Oh, they
Hmm.
did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the robots later in the trailer, he made it he has a fusion weapon, and he combined like a long pole with this wide wooden thing, and it created like a fan effect when he hit
Hmm.
Link,
Oh, right.
and it like knocked him off. So I'm curious how difficult and how intricate the weapons that we have to fight are going to be.
Yeah, I
Right.
think it's super neat that like I'm glad that it seems the extra development time wasn't just them like expanding the world and making it like, oh, we're gonna have more to explore. It seems like they just did it. What systems can we add to make this sandbox even cooler and better to be in? Because I'm sitting here not as a fan, and I'm like, that just looks awesome. Like I would have tons of fun fusing weapons together. The one thing up next was the building like vehicles, right? Is that what was the next, I believe?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. This one, besides being straight out of Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts,
I was about to say that game.
yeah, shout out, not a good game. Well, it's a good game, not a good Banjo game. But this one is where I was kind of like, yeah, this isn't for me. I thought it was cool that they were like, oh, you can make a little boat or you can make a flying hovercraft. And I was like, the amount of time it would take me to do that, I would find so tedious. I would not enjoy doing it. So I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts. Why don't we go to Taylor first on this one? How you feeling about the vehicles and building things?
I think it's really cool. It's just one of those gameplay systems where it's like I don't think I'm smart enough to be good at this. Where it's like making the Ferrari, let's say, of that in-game system. I don't know if I have the smarts to take full advantage. It's like it's really cool. I just don't know how far I could take it. It's kind of like the cooking in Breath of the Wild. I know how to cook things, so I need certain stats, but I never got super into how to min max the proper dishes for the proper fights. And I'm not sure how deep I'd go into the system, but I'm sure people will have some of the most intricate vehicle designs I've ever seen. And something we didn't even mention yet is the types of tech that all of this now opens up for the Zelda speedrunning community. I don't even want to begin to fathom how deep it goes. But the vehicle system I think is really cool. I just, like I said, I think my gaming IQ isn't high enough to fully take advantage.
Kyle, how you feeling?
I don't think I'm gonna use the ground vehicle system that much. Making a car seems like I'll just ride a horse, you know. I feel like that's more Zelda. Like I will, however, be attempting to make like a hoverboard or something cool because I just want to like surf through the sky as Link. I think that sounds awesome. All the flying stuff I can't wait to make, and I'm definitely gonna try to make like ridiculous things. I just want to. He only really put like
A few logs in those wind things.
Yeah, I think the limitation of like the grid that he was doing was like 4x4 for most of the vehicles.
Okay.
But I want to know how big I can actually make like
Vehicle.
these vehicles and things. Like do I like how much do I have to factor in the weight of these things? How like I'm curious about all that.
Like I'm picturing making a giant floating fortress. Like if you just get like 20 logs in a row, right? And then like stack them, and then you just have a bunch of those aerial things underneath, right? Like, can you just have a giant floating like fortress, even if it's not fast, just like slowly going through the air, kind of like Meta Knight ship. Perhaps just grab that. Like, if you can do that, that's awesome. That'd be sweet. Because I know there are going to be people that spend like hours just seeing what they can make. I saw some people tweeting, they're like, I can't wait to fly up to Ganon in my Apache helicopter. Like that
Right.
is, I think, the possibilities here, if they are as expansive and not just the limited to you get like 4 spaces, as you were saying. I think that could be great for the gameplay experience here.
I know Nintendo will never do it, but I do wish that they were more. I don't want to say like consumer friendly about stuff, but like when a lot of games, I feel like if they had this system, they'd let you upload like your like the schematic for like your creation or whatever, and then like someone else could like download it, and then as long as they had the parts, they could like make it or something. I feel like that would be really cool, but I know they're just never gonna do it, so I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah, the closest you'll get is Mario Maker.
Which sucks, by the way.
What?
I
No,
hate
it does
Mario.
not.
Yeah,
It is one of my favorite platforming Switch experiences.
99%. And when you go into the Mario Maker store and you're like, oh, what's like the best things you click on to see what people made? It's always like the worst experiences in the world.
This is what Twitter is actually useful for. There are some really good makers that make an infinite amount of fantastic platforming levels to play.
I got Mario Maker 2 and we sold it off almost immediately.
All right, anyway,
like,
but besides the slander, something I wanted to talk about with the vehicles is if the objects that make the vehicles work like normal environmental objects in Breath of the Wild, I would assume you can't hold on to a vehicle indefinitely. It would despawn. Like if you were to reload a save, I would assume any vehicle you just made or were flying would despawn rather than stay with you until the vehicle is destroyed. So when you were talking about making a flying fortress to go meet Ganon, right? I would imagine you'd only be able to do that for like, a one-time trip. You wouldn't be able to save a flying fortress throughout the game. But
Oh, that's so disappointing. That's a
I mean, I
thing.
don't. Yeah, I think that's how it would function if how other objects in the game, environmental objects in the game, function.
Yeah,
This is-
probably.
That's disappointing to hear because like, what's the incentive for people to spend a lot of time with the system then if they like have to save it and lose it?
For a
That
big fight, I
just
guess. If there's like, if I don't know, Lionels, I'm terrified to fight Lionels in Breath of the Wild, the big centaur-ish things. If they're in this game in a big way,
Why?
I don't know, Kyle. It's a fear of mine, all right? Whatever. If there's some big bad boss, whether it's Ganon or something else, I mean, I could see trying to strategically make a vehicle for the best drop in, and then that's your way in. It's a consumable. Other than that, well, speed running, like I said, but just for experimenting for experiment's sake, just seeing what you can come up with, how maybe maximizing speed, maximizing lift, trying to figure out and min max the physics system with these vehicles to just pull off cool tricks in the game's physics.
I'm gonna fly a house into Ganon and push him off the edge.
Yeah, like in Dark Souls, you can
GG's.
push Taurus Demon. Yeah, Taurus Demon, I think, off the edge of the bridge by accident, and he just dies immediately, and you win the fight. So there you go.
There we go. Ganon, GG's. There's one last thing I want to talk about, but does anybody have anything else to bring up about the gameplay trailer that they want to mention?
Yeah, the next ability was the Ascend.
Oh, right. Totally forgot.
Yep.
This one might have been my favorite one because it looks ridiculous.
Swimming up, air, whatever.
This mechanic is something I hope catches on in other games because there's nothing more annoying to me than when like I get to like the top of a mountain and then I come all the way back down and then it turns out I have to go back all the way back up. The fact, like when they walked into that cave and they're like, we can just use this ability to get to the top. I was like, hold on, I can do what now? Like that was awesome.
So I know they didn't show it. I assume Link can still climb up mountains, but this just adds like
he was still climbing up mountains
a quicker way to get to the top of if there's a cave, because the way it works is they were saying it has to have a roof. So as long as there's a roof above you, you can teleport. I just think the animation of Link popping out through the ground is the silliest thing I've ever seen in a video game. Like, what is he doing?
That's pretty ridiculous.
So I've seen this. Do you guys think there's gonna be dungeons in this game?
Do I think there's gonna be dungeons?
Yeah. Do you think they're returning to dungeons?
I think they'll rework Divine Beast into Sky, something with the Sky, and kind of remix them. Also with the shrines, we don't know, right? We assume that Onuma didn't say in the gameplay trailer at all if shrines were going to be coming back or being different from. Given that it's like Breath of the Wild, sequel to Breath of the Wild, I would assume shrines and divine beasts are back without alteration to that general structure.
Well, why would divine beasts be back? There's no real reason.
Oh, right, you're right. Well, they were champions that were
to be back. But I assume I would assume there would be something like similar to those, kind of, but not like the divine beast. I would like something in between, like dungeons and shrines. Shrines were kind of just like too simple or too short. Whereas I did miss the dungeon exploring of the old Zeldas. I'm not like super invested either way. Like I completed all the shrines, so I think if it is supposed to take place in the same Hyrule, then having shrines would make more sense. But also, like if it's in the future, when it like canonically, my Link has already completed all the shrines. Why would I need to go find more shrines?
Wouldn't it be cool if it recognized you had Breath of the Wild save data and then like just was like, we're just gonna carry off from there. This is your Link.
I'm gonna inhale massive copium until it comes out that they will do something like that, or at least just give me like. So there's a super cool outfit you get for completing all the shrines in Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me take it. Bring it over with me. Like, just don't take it away from me.
Okay. Well, other than that, the stream ended with the announcement of the Tears of the
OLED.
Kingdom OLED and Pro Controller and carrying case. I believe the OLED is $359.99. Then doesn't include the game, so it's more expensive than a Switch, and you don't get a game. How are we feeling about that?
All right, I have some thoughts. So the dock, I like the dock. The dock for the new system looks nice. The Joy-Con grips are mid. The Pro controller would have been great if they didn't have one paddle just white.
Mm-hmm. I
If
don't
they
like
made
the
both
white.
of them black, I would have copped it. Like straight up. I would have bought it. But I think the OLED system overall is mid, and so is the Pro controller.
How you feeling, Kyle?
I think it's actually pretty beautiful. I think if you don't have like a Switch yet, I could see getting it. But also, I think it's ridiculous that the game isn't included, because then it's $359 plus tax, which would be like $400 plus the $70 for the game. So now you're at $470 for one Switch game and an OLED, which is not a. I mean, I guess the screen looks nicer, but it's not a huge improvement over the normal Switch. Like I'm not gonna buy this. I want a Switch Pro. I want a more powerful Switch.
We're calling it the Super Switch.
Oh,
Okay?
Super Switch. Sorry, I want the Super Switch.
Yeah.
Having said that, I might buy the Pro controller.
The Pro Controller isn't that bad. I do hear what Taylor's saying. I think it looks. I can live with it. I think the OLED looks fine. Again, like I'm not super into Zelda, so this isn't for me. I think the price is ridiculous. This is 7-year-old hardware, and all you did was put some decal on it, and then you're like, this is worth way more money. I'm like, this is nonsense.
Wait,
This is
Kev,
utter nonsense.
you have an native Ethernet cord in your dock. What do you mean?
I have an Ethernet at USB though.
Oh,
It's redundant at this point for me. Again, and also even if it does have that, it's not worth
All
the
right.
price tag.
You know what I would do? If Nintendo re-released their special edition Smash Pro controller with the Smash Ultimate Steelbook, I'd buy them because I didn't buy them the first time and I regret it.
I'd buy a GameCube controller.
You
Like
can still buy GameCube controllers. What are you
They're
talking
so
about?
expensive.
Oh
though.
no, not
They're
Nintendo doesn't
so-
make them anymore. You have to buy them from like eBay or get a custom one.
Mhm.
Anyway, Kevin and I could talk about Smash probably the rest of the night. So we're gonna get away
no.
from that for now.
Yeah. Zelda. Listen, just put out the next Switch, okay? Is there any concern in your guys' mind that you buy this game and then they announce new hardware for like next year, like next March?
Concern? Why would I be concerned if they do that?
Because they're probably going to have this game on, like, be a launch title for that, right? Just like
I
they
wouldn't
did
be
with the
that
Wii U.
Yeah, I wouldn't be that concerned. They did it GameCube, Twilight Princess, and the
It
Wii.
always happens.
Yeah,
Breath of the Wild Wii U to Switch. I would expect it to happen this time too, and the new Switch hardware to either have, or Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and the new Switch hardware version will either have new features or it'll perform better, or both. I think that just comes with the territory of trying to incentivize new hardware.
I'd only be annoyed if there's no backwards compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if there's no backwards compatibility, I'm gonna explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make it a point
$70 again.
to collect Switch games, right?
No,
Switch.
no, I don't want to pay $70 again.
Yeah. I think.
Oh wait, it is 70. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it is 70.
Oh, and of course, there's going to be an inevitable $20 to $40 DLC,
Mm-hmm.
either pass or
Expansion pass, right?
individually. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I mean, you didn't need DLC for Breath of the Wild. You could.
Oh no,
completely
I'm not going to
ignore
buy it. I don't have it. I'm not going to.
Oh,
buy
okay,
It.
good. Yeah.
did you buy it, Kyle?
What?
Did you
No.
bought the? Oh, you didn't buy the DLC?
No,
Oh,
Oh,
it's
I didn't know that.
it's not worth
Is-
it.
Oh, is it not like new content?
but you get a Master's motorcycle.
I
Oh,
don't care.
I know. It's already Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for free, for the record. So
Yeah.
all right. Last question, guys. Then we can wrap this up. Hype levels. Where are we at? Kyle,
10.
Taylor.
7.7.
Interesting scale. All right. I'm again not buying the game, but I hope everyone else enjoys it. May 12th. Right. Tears
May
of the Kingdom.
12th.
All right. So everyone look forward to that. That's going to do it for us this month. A little bit of a shorter episode. I think next month, April, we will be coming back with our review of the Mario movie, which Kyle and I are going to see on our birthday. I already got tickets
Whoa.
for that.
Wait, does it come out on your birthday or you're just seeing it on your birthday?
It well, it
It was
it
was
originally
supposed to.
came out on our birthday, April 7th, but then they upped the release date to April 5th. So I'm still saying yes, but Nintendo did some weird stuff with the
Okay.
marketing here.
All right.
So yes, we're gonna see that and at some
Oh.
point talk about it next month. But
Speaking
until
of movies,
next time,
I need to see John Wick 4 immediately.
I hear it's really good. Anyway, we're gonna see you next time. Come join our Discord. The link is down below. You can find these two lovely gentlemen, including myself, there. Follow us on Twitter at Save Game Media. Until next month, goodbye.